All right, so this quick little video, hopefully it helps some people. Everything that I had learned the hard way, maybe they will use this. Maybe this video will cover those things, hopefully, and people don't have to learn the hard way. Okay, so what this one is about is the installation of a handbrake. Now, there are many informative things on forums, by the way. This is my new shifter. So that's park, reverse, neutral, drive, 2 and 1. So anyways, so it's that. I ditched the cable setup and just use that. I'm gonna patch the hole up, obviously, but I'm gonna lead a whatever. Still gotta rebuild the transmission. So what I bought was a generic Chinese $45 handbrake. Now, two things I encountered with them. The threads in mine were a little bit boogered up. What they're supposed to be is 7/16-24. Basically, I think it's a 1/4 inch brake line. Now, so this is right here is the standard inverted flare 3/8-24 thread. It's a 3/16 line. If you're using a Japanese car like myself, or an old Tercel or Corolla, or for example, the old first generation RX-7s, I know they're pretty popular. The what you're gonna have to do is, if you use American lines, is right here where you find the connect, right? This is the outlet. This is what originally went to the back brakes. So the one line that went all the way to the back and then split left and right is the line you're gonna have to go with. In my case, I had to have an adapter go from metric to the American inverted flare 3/8 thread instead of that M1-1, whatever it was. So it goes there, it goes through my firewall. And here's the important piece. Now, I got it going through my firewall, under my mess of wiring, here, and right there. If you were to run this as a standalone and you had a fourth set of like 4 calipers in the back, like they do in the stunt cars for like Fast and Furious or anything, you would then have a little reservoir you could buy for about 12 bucks, 12 to 21, 25 bucks. It's a little thing, and it works just like the reservoir on your regular master cylinder. And it would sit here, and it would have fluid in it and have a cap and a vent and the rubber diaphragm. And then the actual pressure side is this right here. So when I'm applying the brakes, the pressure goes from here through this handbrake, go up and down there. Now, here are two problems I had with this particular cheap brake. You see that there's a washer right here? This I added because it was that much space. The way a master cylinder works, this is actuated, this is not, is when it's actuated and I pump my brakes, the brakes will pump up. They won't release until I release the handbrake. Now, if this is so much as a little bit engaged, doesn't take much, all it takes is a little bit. There's a little a port in the very inside of this that keeps the pressure. So if I engage it a little bit and I pump on my brakes, now my rear wheels are going to be locked. So what I found yesterday when I installed it was the space right here. There wasn't enough thread for me to back off and for this handle, well, for inside the piston to completely release and go past that little port, releasing all the pressure. And so I would pump up the brakes and it would just stay there for hours while I couldn't move this and I couldn't unlock my rear wheels. So what I had to do, and you may or may not have to do it, but just something to watch out, is on this particular model, it doesn't really have a name, it's like 45 bucks on eBay, a million people sell it, so I can't really tell you what model this is. But on this particular model, I had this shimmied out, looks like a 1/16 of an inch. Now, this also, what I like about this one is that it works as a handbrake, or an e-brake too, although I don't know how long it'll hold the pressure for. Yeah, it would, but I'm gonna have to move to the next hole right there. There's a couple different holes for this little hex screw. and then what it does is it catches that. So when you pull the brake, it automatically just falls with gravity, and it should be good. Now, off of here, again, this is a 3/16 line. The thread in this particular one is 3/8-24 if you're looking for little adapters for a metric line. And I have it going all the way to the back where it tees off to my rear drum brakes. And that's all that's involved in installing a handbrake. If you get a more expensive model, it should be pretty straightforward. Remember, this is the line going off your master cylinder. So this is the pressure line from your regular brakes. Goes through here, and this is the actual pressure line going to your rear brakes. That's key. Otherwise, you won't bleed it, and it won't work. And also, to keep your brakes from locking up, you need to make sure that the piston completely disengages. I know in this one, it was an issue. Maybe it varies. It's a quality control issue or not. I don't know. I just didn't want to spend the time shipping it back and forth, so I just I shimmed it. So that's that. Also, a pleasant little surprise with this little rust bucket Datsun is, like I said, I bought it as a cat in the bag, and I popped the valve covers to see what's going on. And I have roller tipped rockers. So I'm pretty stoked about that. These are the cheaper model. However, they are name brand. They're comp cams. I don't know the specs on the cam. I just know that they're pretty lumpy. That's all I know. Runs good. I fixed the original radiator hose problem that I had. I know some of you guys were see that. I mean, it still touches my sway bar. However, it flows water. It doesn't have like a 90-degree bend in it. And I got it so hot that it started steaming out of the vent, so I need to install my electric fan. I got that in the mail. So there you guys have it. If you want your car to be a drift car, or you just want a hydraulic parking brake instead of buying all the parts, although it's a little obnoxious, but you can get a horizontal one, not just a vertical one. That's how you install a drift brake, hand brake. They call them all kind of things, because I want to do a little bit of drifting with this car, some drag racing, road course. I don't like to have a car dedicated to just one event because, well, I mean, what's the fun in that? You got to trail it around and so on and so on. So this is going to be a four-way. It's going to be a hot rod you could drive on the street, car you could drag race, drift it, road course it, you know, being light with the V8. You can do all kind of things with it. All right, thanks for watching. I hope you all enjoyed the video, and hopefully it was helpful.